Multiple developing stories in Central Arkansas tonight. New video surfacing showing the moments before a mass shooting that injured at least 25 people in a Little Rock nightclub.
Like I said, it was over 50 shots went off in the club, and it was probably like 300 people in the club. It was packed, so that's just a blessing. No one died.
Tonight, victims describe the terrifying scene from inside the club. Meanwhile, we are learning more about the man on stage and his violent history. In another part of the city, Little Rock police investigating 2 separate homicides.
It's total devastation. It was amazing how fast the fire took off.
Plus, in a different part of Central Arkansas, families searching through charred remains after a major fire destroys several homes overnight. Fox 16 News starts right now.
And good evening, I'm Stephanie Sharp. Tonight, we are learning more about what led up to a mass shooting at a Little Rock nightclub. In this new video, it shows the terrifying moments Saturday night, and as you can see, it's from the angle of what those on stage would have seen. Here's what we know right now. 25 people were shot and 3 others injured. Local hospitals confirm most of those victims have been released. 9 are still there tonight, 2 listed in critical condition. Miraculously, there have been no deaths in this shooting. The family of the youngest victim says he's 16-year-old Marquette Mohammed. Of course, we are also learning more tonight about the performer Saturday night, Ricky Hampton, also known as Finesse 2 times. He was arrested in Alabama. He was taken into custody for an unrelated crime. We'll have more on that in just a moment here. But first, we have learned the names and faces of those who became a victim of tragedy on Saturday, many saying it could have been a whole lot worse. We have team coverage tonight on as more of these victim stories come to light. And of course, we begin tonight with Price McKeon. Price, you talked with a man today who says he drove himself to the hospital after getting shot multiple times, right?
That's right, Stephanie. Jerron Eccles told me that he got shot twice and a 3rd bullet grazed him when he was inside this club where we are right now. The 25-year-old described to me in detail about how he got out alive. But what stood out to me even more were the details that he remembers about his thoughts when he got out alive.
I got shot twice. I got grazed once, so 3 times, and all I was hit.
Jerron Eccles' bandages cover his gunshot wounds.
Over 50 shots rang out in there, like, it was just crazy. It seemed like it wasn't gonna never end.
Before the chaos, his Snapchat video shows the rapper walking into the club, limping.
Kind of do want to see the back stuff.
Jerron wanted to look in the daylight.
None of them my shoes.
At the back exit he used.
I just wanted to get home to my son.
This father says he got shot when he was trying to get to the back exit while crawling on the ground.
I got to shooting like 10 more times. I said, man, someone was just telling me, Jerron, you got to get up or you're going to die in here.
Adrenaline pumping, he says he ran.
My main focus was don't get hit in the head because I was already shot.
He says he drove himself to the hospital.
I was just thinking, like, just make it. Don't wreck, just make it.
On Sunday, standing outside the club, he's got one big question.
I got patted down. Everyone should have got patted down like me. I don't know how the guns got in.
And that is a lot about what he talked about when we were outside this club earlier, is that question about who got patted down and what. He told me that last night he was released from the hospital, but today he is still in a lot of pain. Reporting live in Little Rock, Price McKeon, back to you.
Hey, yeah, and Price, you said that he had some Snapchat video of the night of that concert. Among all of that chaos, was he able to see who was firing some of those shots?
He told me no, he wasn't able to see anything. He said he was just sitting on a couch. He heard it, but he didn't see anything. He says he has no idea who would have done this.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, an update on 19-year-old Dejana Mixon. She was shot in the shoulder at the club and underwent a nearly 6-hour surgery. Her family says she was taken off a ventilator this morning and is talking. They say doctors are still evaluating her arm to see if it has to be amputated. Taking a look at some of the other victims in this tragedy on Saturday morning at the Power Ultra Lounge mass shooting. Kiana Bogan's leg was ran over as she ran out of the club. Fox 16's Caitlin Reardon talked to her about that scary scene. Caitlin, what can you tell us?
Well, Steph, of course, an unimaginable experience for anyone inside of the club at the time of that shooting. Kiana says that she and her husband heard people arguing just seconds before the gunshots rang out. She says it was so disorienting in there because it was dark and you couldn't see where everything was happening. At first they wanted to run, then they eventually got to the ground. Ultimately, she and her husband did make it outside, but her leg was run over by a car that was backing up. She is one of the 3 that was hurt, but not by gunfire. But she says still she's thankful it wasn't worse.
Seen this one girl, she was bleeding and was like, "Help me, please, help me," and it was just crazy.
And Kiana says they were getting ready to leave that club right before Finesse 2 Times came on stage. They decided to stay a few more minutes. She also says this is the last time she plans to go out because she is a mother of a 3-year-old daughter and says that it's just too dangerous anymore. Steph.
All right, Caitlin, thank you so much. As we told you moments ago, the rapper who was on stage at the time of the shooting finds himself behind bars in Alabama today. Ricky Hampton, also known as Finesse 2 Times, was arrested outside a club in Birmingham along with another man. We do want to stress that he was not arrested because of the Little Rock shooting. He had warrants out of eastern Arkansas. According to authorities, they recovered 2 handguns and an AK-47 from a Mercedes outside the club. Little Rock police wants to question Hampton in hopes of getting a better idea on what led up to that shooting. And this isn't the first time something like this has happened. At one of his concerts back in April, there was a shooting outside a club in Memphis. 2 people were injured in that crime.
The bullets went all the way to the elevator into the hotel. This is not a joke. They're killing and hurting people for real.
And coming up tonight at 9:30, we go deeper into the rapper's past and why many say violence follows him wherever he goes. On Saturday, many saying the scene around the club looked like a war zone. From shoes, bags, and clothes, many personal belongings still litter the street near the club. Police did collect several items from inside and outside the club, including clothes and cell phones. Little Rock police say you can contact the department to see if they have your belongings. Give the number right there on your screen a call if you have questions about your stuff. It's 501-317-4660. Our crew is also taking a picture today, a notice to vacate letter that was posted on the door of the Power Ultra Lounge. It says the club owner, Herman Lewis, must be out in 3 days. Fox 16 investigates, learning there appears to be a court case for debts owed against Lewis in the past month. There may be other issues too, like taxes owed. The alcoholic beverage control officials say there have been 7 violations cited against the Power Ultra Lounge since 2012, including multiple violations for underage drinking. ABC has suspended the lounge's mixed drink license with at least 3 potential violations at play. Lewis will have to have a chance to appear at an ABC hearing on July 10th. Of course, we will have continuing coverage throughout this newscast, and you can also get the very latest on our website, fox16.com, as well as our social media pages. New tonight at 9, a raging fire rips through homes on the shores of Lake Hamilton Saturday night. Altogether, 4 homes destroyed, a 5th badly damaged, several cars burned that night as well. Fox 16's Charmaine Nero joining us now from Lake Hamilton. And Charmaine, this holiday weekend, of course, turning very tragic for many families out there.
Exactly, Stephanie. Take a look behind me. This is pure devastation. Now, I'm told many people who live in this area own homes here, and one of the homeowners was actually able to tell me he's lived here for about 11 years, and just looking at this pure devastation is hard for him to comprehend.
It's still sinking in.
Monty Dillick looks at what's left of his dream home after a Saturday night fire.
Obviously, the house is completely gone.
Dillick was home when a neighbor told him about the blaze.
And so we tried to spray it down, but the heat was so intense. And at 9:54, we called 911 and said, we can't control this, it's out of control.
On what was supposed to be a joyous holiday weekend.
It's total devastation. It was amazing how fast the fire took off.
Now leaving 4 homeowners in this community in total shock.
It was solid wood, and once it's caught on fire and all the decks, there was nothing to stop it.
Neighbors say flames could be seen as far as a nearby bypass. Footage shows just how intense this fire was.
everything from the house itself to furniture, vehicles.
A weekend to celebrate stars and stripes. Dillick is thankful no one was hurt.
One, thanking the Lord that nothing happened.
Even after the fire, he plans to stay in the place he calls home.
Time will tell, but that's probably what my plan is, to rebuild and move, just keep moving forward.
Very powerful. It's actually a prime example of Independence Day, being able to suffer this loss but still have positivity that I've seen in a lot of the homeowners in this area. While of course they are still looking for the cause of this fire, I am hearing from a lot of people in this area that it may have been caused by a car, maybe possibly fireworks as well. Of course, that's just speculation. We're still waiting for official confirmation of how this fire started. Reporting in Lake Hamilton, Charmaine Nero, gonna send it back to you.
It's just amazing to see how much damage was done in that fire. Clearly it burned for hours. And Charmaine, do you have any idea of how many different fire departments were out there to help put it out?
Well, a lot of people out here said there were fire crews as far as the nearby road. I'm hearing about 4 volunteer fire crews came out here, maybe a little bit more, but they said that they were out here trying to get the fire out as quickly as possible. But a lot of people did commend them for their efforts, especially in this weather.
Well, thank you so much, Charmaine, reporting from Lake Hamilton. Little Rock police already swamped from the mass shooting investigation, looking into 2 separate homicide cases tonight. Police say a man killed his girlfriend, then turned the gun on himself. It happened early this morning on the 1600 block of South Elm Street. Police say the woman is 28-year-old Anna Williamson, and Ernest Purdyman was the shooter. LRPD also investigating a homicide on Westmount Circle. Police say 36-year-old Naomi Estrada was found dead by her sister around 8:15 this morning. Police believe this case is also domestic related. In light of these 2 homicides, Little Rock Police want to remind everyone of the Victim Services Help number. You're encouraged to call the number right there on your screen, 501-918-5347. We've also posted that number on our website, fox16.com. The number of recent shooting victims in Little Rock has skyrocketed in the last week and a half. More than 30 people have been shot in 11 days. On Saturday, 25 people were injured by gunfire at the Power Ultra Lounge. And in that 11 days time span, there has been 10 different drive-by shootings in the Little Rock area. Police have arrested a few people in connection to those, but say there are at least 3 more suspects involved. We have a timeline of when the recent shootings happened and where they occurred. You can find that information also on our website, fox16.com. In the midst of recent violence, Fox 16 is fighting to end it in Central Arkansas. We're taking our message to the streets with our second Victory Over Violence Walk. Is taking place on Saturday, July 15th at MacArthur Park. From 8:30 a.m. until 11, the walk ends with a family-friendly event. There's going to be food, fun, and activities for kids. Come be a part of the solution and help end violence in Arkansas. And you can learn more about that and more about our Victory Over Violence movement on our website, fox16.com. Victims describing the scene that led up to a mass shooting that injured dozens. We'll head back live to our crews coming up. And as we're getting a better idea of what led up to the shooting, we're also learning a bit more about the man on stage and his past with the law. But first, it's been a wet weekend for some. With more rain on the way, we'll have a full forecast. Kelly will have your full forecast when Fox 16 News returns. Stay with us.
Now, weather to plan your day with meteorologist Kelly Dobeck.
So it's a long holiday weekend. A lot of people hoping for good, clear weather this weekend, or I guess coming into the next couple of days. What can we expect?
Yeah, well, right now we're actually watching the storm system pretty closely. It's been through Oklahoma all day long, slowly but surely making its way into Arkansas, bringing the chance for some soggy weather tonight. Though luckily, rain chances do get a little bit better as we head closer to the July 4th holiday, which is good news for fireworks. But right now, we're actually looking at a pretty strong storm system. If you pull up radar, you can see it was moving through Oklahoma all day today, and it's slowly making its way into the corner of northwest Arkansas. Now, because the storm system is moving so slowly, it's actually dropping down a lot of heavy rain. Flash flood warnings have been issued for many parts of Oklahoma, and actually just for Benton County of Arkansas a few moments ago. And you can see all the oranges and reds are areas of pretty heavy rainfall. Lightning and thunder also associated with this, but as the storm system makes its way through the state as we head through the overnight, the main threats are going to be that heavy rain and the chance for some strong winds, 40 to 50 miles an hour. And again, it is moving very slowly, so through the overnight, even through the commute tomorrow morning, we may be running into some splash and dash showers through the early morning hours into the early afternoon. Now, satellite radar showing just how big this system is. Again, there are still some severe thunderstorm warnings just to the south of Oklahoma City, and actually the storm system is intensifying down in Oklahoma as we continue through the night tonight, which is kind of concerning, keeping definitely a close eye as it does make its way through this natural state as we head through the overnight tonight. And this is all thanks to some disturbances up in the northwest, slowly riding along this boundary layer in our northern part of our state. We can see this is actually the storm system that pushed through yesterday. This is the storm system we're going to be watching through the overnight, and we're just going to continue to see more and more storm systems move in through the northwest, very similar to what we've seen yesterday, what we'll see tonight, and what we'll see Monday night, and possibly even Tuesday night. But the good news is these disturbances do get weaker as we head through the middle part of the week. Something else we're watching is that hot and humid conditions too. We're still getting lots of moisture being pumped up from the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to help be storm fuel as we head through each and every afternoon as well. So taking a look at forecast radar as we head through the night tonight, there's that storm system as we head through the overnight hours slowly. Again, this is the key word here. This is a very slow moving storm system. It's slowly going to push its way east as we head through the night. It will lose a lot of energy as it makes its way through the state, but again, northwest corner, western part of the state, that's where the heaviest rainfall is going to fall once we make our way through the overnight into the early morning hours. Again, still slow moving, still could see some heavy rainfall even in Little Rock when we get closer to morning commute time. If you do have to work tomorrow around 6 or 7 a.m., we could be seeing some slick roadways and even some heavy downpour. So do plan accordingly if you do have to go anywhere tomorrow early in the morning. You may be dodging some pretty heavy showers. And again, if you do see flooded roads, don't ever try to drive through them because that could definitely be dangerous. Heading through the later part of the morning, still seeing that storm system trying to push through the early part of the afternoon actually, and then once we get into the afternoon hours, we could see more storms fire up from that daytime heating, and then we're going to see another one of these systems try to make their way through Monday night. It'll be a little bit weaker, but still seeing that chance for showers and storms each and every night through the next few days. Temperatures still on the warm side, 81 here in Little Rock, 79 in Clinton, and those dew points, that moisture in the air, it's extra sticky too. We're seeing those dew points in the upper 70s, and that's when things feel pretty oppressive outside. Heat index values were actually in the triple digits for many areas. Luckily, if you're in the northern part of the state, right where that boundary is sitting, dew points are a bit lower, but they're still not helping the cause. It's still feeling pretty sticky out there, and the humidity, it is going to stay very humid all week long. We're not looking at any breaks in humidity, actually looking at the most humid conditions on the holiday on July 4th. So if you're going to be spending most of the day outside, it's going to be pretty humid out there, a little bit sticky, and we could be seeing isolated shower and storm chances as we head through the day. The forecast for tonight, though, again, could be dodging some scattered showers and storms. A few of them could be strong at times. Do be aware, heavy rain could be an issue as we head through the night tonight. Looking at the next 2 days, though, as you're making your plans for the holiday, isolated storm chances are going to stick around through the 4th of July holiday, so do be aware. You may be running into a couple of showers as we head through the overnight Monday and Tuesday. We'll keep those rain chances in the forecast through the middle part of the week, and as I said, they'll start to dissipate, but take a look at those temperatures staying in the 90s each and every day. So it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid, we're going to be dodging showers and thunderstorms on and off every day, a very summer-like pattern. But again, definitely want to stay weather aware tonight because we could be dealing with some heavy rainfall at times, making flash flooding a possible issue, especially for the western part of the state. So we'll definitely be keeping a close eye on that.
Yeah, so some storms tonight, some storms over the next couple of days, hot, humid, but
luckily they're looking a little lesser chances 4th of July, so hopefully we can get those fireworks shows in.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Well, coming up after the break, Twitter firestorm. President Trump takes to social media showing the president beating up a man with a CNN logo on his face and how CNN is now reacting. That's coming up next.
You're watching Fox 16 News, your Emmy award-winning newscast.
Another Twitter firestorm for President Trump today after he tweeted a video edited to show him beating up a man with a CNN logo on his face. Jennifer Johnson explains that the president is in New Jersey calling GOP lawmakers to try to get the Republican Senate health care bill over the finish line.
This is the video the president tweeted, edited to show him at a WWE event beating up on a man with a CNN logo on his face. CNN shot back, calling it a sad day when the president of the United States encourages violence against reporters. This after the president personally attacked Morning Joe host Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough last week. Mr. Trump continued his media assault at a veterans rally Saturday night.
The fake media tried to stop us from going to the White House, but I'm president and they're not.
Mr. Trump says his use of social media is modern-day presidential, but some Republican lawmakers are again calling on him to lay off.
It's unfortunate, and people are now begging the president not to do this, and, you know, he had to stop doing it.
As dozens of impeachment protests are held around the country Sunday, the White House denies the president is distracted and is working on getting the stalled GOP health care bill passed.
The president's held multiple meetings within the White House itself with physicians, with small business groups, with other folks who have been harmed by Obamacare.
But some Republicans say they can't vote for the current plan because it's too much like Obamacare.
The bill is just being lit up like a Christmas tree full of billion-dollar ornaments, and it's not repealed.
The president says Republicans should consider repealing Obamacare now and replacing it later.
This week, the president heads to the G20 summit in Germany, where he will have his first face-to-face meeting with Vladimir Putin since taking office. Many of the president's most prominent aides are also some of the highest paid. A staff salary document released by the White House shows more than 40% of the White House staffers earn more than $100,000 a year. 22 aides take home nearly $180,000. Chief strategist Steve Bannon, along with his chief of staff, both earn nearly $180,000. That's the same salary earned by senior counselor Kellyanne Conway and press secretary Sean Spicer. However, his daughter Ivanka and her husband Jared Kushner are not drawing any salary. The capital city is trying to recover tonight after at least 25 people are shot in an act of violence. Our team coverage continues next. Plus, we'll go back to Lake Hamilton, where a massive fire destroyed several homes, how homeowners are holding on to hope. That's coming up after the break.
You're watching Fox 16 News at 9. Covering Conway, Malvern, Little Rock, and all of Central Arkansas.
New video showing a new perspective tonight, moments before bullets flew through the air, hitting at least 25 people. Here's what we know right now. 25 people were shot and 3 others injured. Local hospitals confirm most of those victims have been released. 9 are still in the hospital tonight, 2 listed in critical condition. Miraculously, there are no deaths. The family says the youngest victim is 16-year-old Marquette Muhammad. We have learned the rapper who was on stage at the time of the shootings has been arrested in Birmingham, Alabama. Ricky Hampton, also known as Finesse 2 times, was arrested on outstanding warrants out of Forest City. He was not arrested in connection to the Little Rock shooting. Police have said they want to question him. According to authorities, 2 handguns and an AK-47 from a Mercedes outside the club where he was found were also found when Hampton was arrested. However, this is not the first act of violence that has happened at one of his concerts. Back in April, police say shootings happened outside a Memphis nightclub. That shooting injured 2 people. Many who know the rapper say they aren't surprised something like this happened. Many saying violence follows him wherever he goes.
The early evening crowd is small at 306 Sports Bar Grill. It will get busier. Those here were talking about a performer that once was on stage here.
Yeah, Finesse was here.
Mary Trice says there wasn't anything unusual about the Finesse 2 Times performance that night, so she went home. At midnight, she says the bullets started flying into the building from the parking lot.
One bullet tried 20-some bullets. 20-some bullets. 2 people got hit. The bullets went all the way to the elevator into the hotel. This is not a joke. They're killing and hurting people for real.
The man known as DJ Care Bear has an opinion about Finesse 2 Times.
To me, he's a very talented up-and-coming artist.
Care Bear's real name is Nathaniel Stewart. He is part of the Underground Railroad Entertainment Group helping local artists get into the business. He's not really surprised at the Little Rock shootings.
I'm more surprised that they want to blame the music on the environment. I think the environment, that's just the environment. The music don't have anything to do with it. Artists are just having a good time, pouring up their stories and their experience in this hardcore life, you know.
Mary Trice, however, thinks Finesse 2 Times needs to take some of the blame for the shootings at her club and in Little Rock.
I can't say it is Finesse, but I can say this here. When you are affiliated into I'll say an organization, when you're affiliated and you go certain places and the organization don't like you, that's a disrespect to their town or their city, then they retaliate. That's when the retaliations come.
What landed him in jail was aggravated assault charges related to a previous incident in eastern Arkansas. Both the ATF, FBI, and U.S. Marshals assisted in his arrest. And tonight, we are learning more about the victims. These are just some of the faces who were affected by violence this weekend. 16 of the 25 victims have been released from the hospital. You can find a video similar to this on our Fox16 Facebook page. A terrifying situation for all people inside that nightclub on Sunday, early Sunday morning, as gunshots rang out in the dark. Fox 16's Caitlin Reardon talked with a woman who made it out of the club before she got injured. Caitlin.
Well, Steph, Kiana Bogan and her husband ducked from gunshots. They ran from gunshots, and ultimately they got outside of the club safely. But then her leg was run over by a car as she was trying to get away.
Was to run, but then we heard more, so we got down on the ground.
Kiana Bogan and her husband were at Power Ultra Lounge when they noticed a group of people arguing.
And I said, they arguing now, but arguing is going to turn into fighting, and fighting might turn into something serious.
Seconds later, shots rang out, and it turned into chaos. Kiana says the shooter was just swinging the gun, and everyone was trying to dodge the fire.
The stairs, we fell down the stairs. People were getting stepped on. We seen wallets, phones, people asking for help.
She and her husband made it out of the club without getting shot, but Kiana's leg was run over by a car backing up during the madness. Still, all she can think about is, what if it was worse?
I was like, the person next to me got shot. And I was like, what if I was an inch over? Would I have got shot?
Kiana has a 3-year-old daughter and rarely goes out to clubs. She says that's a good thing because times have changed.
Before you could go out to a party and have fun, now you got to be worried about if you go in this party, are you going to make it home to your family?
And she says during that whole ordeal and afterward, all she could think about was the Orlando club shooting last summer, and she's just thankful that nobody died in this one. Steph?
Yeah, Caitlin, of course, a lot of people, I think, have the same thoughts on that as well. Were you able to talk to this woman, and were you able to ask her if she was able to get any idea who the gunman or the gunmen, multiple people, may have been? And do you know if she's helping police out, possibly to help locate the suspects?
You know, Steph, I have no idea if she was able to talk to police about anything she knows, but from what she told me, she couldn't see who it was. It was so dark in there, and the person they imagine was just swinging their arm back and forth shooting, so everyone was just trying to duck from that gunfire instead of be able to, you know, try to identify who they could see. So as far as I know, she was not able to get a look at that shooter.
All right, scary for absolutely everybody in that club on that night. All right, Caitlin, thank you so much. An update to a story that we brought you yesterday. 19-year-old Dejana Mixon, she was shot in the shoulder at the club and underwent a nearly 6-hour surgery. Her family saying today that she was taken off a ventilator this morning and is talking. They say doctors are still evaluating her arm to see if it must be amputated. We're learning tonight that one man actually drove himself to the hospital after that shooting. Tonight, Fox 16's Price McKeon is live at the scene tonight. And Price, you talked to him today. How is he doing?
He's doing the best that he can be doing, considering he got hit with a bullet 3 times. He says that he got out using the back door, but he walked us through the entire beginning of the night, where he says this is where he was standing and he went into the club using these front doors here. And then he says someone took his $20, he got pulled to the side, and he got patted down. So he says he just doesn't understand, if everyone got pat down, then how there could be guns inside the club. Jerome Eccles says he was sitting in the club on a couch when he heard the gunfire. He says he stood up, turned left to try to get out the back door. That's when one bullet hit him in the stomach, a second in the leg, and a third one grazed his leg.
Like I said, it was over 50 shots went off in the club, and it was probably like 300 people in the club. It was packed, so that's just a blessing. No one died.
When Eccles was out here today, he had a limp. He said he was still in a lot of pain, but he did get released from the hospital late last night. Back to you, Stephanie.
All right, Price reporting. Thank you so much. On Saturday, many saying the scene around the club looked like a war zone. From shoes, bags, and clothes, many personal belongings still littered the streets near the club. Police did collect several items from inside and outside the club, including clothing and cell phones. Little Rock police say you can contact the department to see if they have your belongings. Give them a call. That number right there on your screen. It's 501-371-4660. We will have continuing coverage throughout this newscast. You can also get the latest developments on our website, fox16.com, as well as on our social media pages. Little Rock police say 2 children were hurt after accidentally being shot tonight. It happened at a home at 32nd and Irving around 5:15. Police say the children are 7 years old and 13 years old. Officials say they believed one of the kids fired the gun. Both of those children are expected to survive. Well, coming up after the break, homeowners coming together to pick up their homes after their homes are destroyed by a massive fire. A live report from Lake Hamilton coming up next.
And we'll be continuing to watch the storm system through the overnight. It may bring some showers and storms early for your morning commute. Your staycation forecast will show temperatures won't be getting as warm because of those clouds and chances for scattered storms. And once again, you'll want to stay weather aware through the overnight tonight because some of these storms could have some heavy rain.
You're watching Fox 16 News, your Emmy award-winning newscast.
A late-night fire ripped through one Central Arkansas lakefront community, leaving many without their homes this 4th of July weekend. Fox 16's Charmaine Nero is live at the scene. And Charmaine, this is a place where many people come to vacation or just come for the long weekend. Is that right?
Exactly, Stephanie. Now, I've been out here pretty much the entire day since this morning, and I've seen multiple homeowners coming in and out of their damaged homes, trying to salvage whatever they can. Now, just a little recap. Neighbors tell me they saw these apartments behind me, these homes on fire, smoke coming out. They say that 4 homes entirely were destroyed, 1 other partially damaged as well. They say some property in this area as well as multiple cars were also destroyed during this fire. Many still looking at the damage today, saying they're still in shock.
Oh, heartbreaking. It sure was. Because we have spent so much time and money and effort remodeling them, and then see them go up in smoke. It's really heartbreaking.
Now, that heartbreaking, what you just heard from a longtime resident here, is what we can feel from a lot of people in this area. Just looking at this damage to them is very devastating even today. Now, we are hearing a couple of speculation from neighbors that the fire may have started from a car, possibly fireworks. Of course, we're still waiting for official confirmation as to an exact cause of the fire. Reporting in Lake Hamilton, Charmaine Nero, sending it back to you.
All right, thanks, Charmaine. We'll have the very latest on this story and much more on our website, Fox16.com. Now, Ben Creighton joining us now with a look at sports, and it looks like there's one former Razorback golfer that's looking for a PGA win. Is that right?
Yeah, David Lingmerth was just rolling through the first 3 rounds, but the question was, could he keep it up on the final, most crucial day? I'll have the highlights of the Quicken Loans National. Plus, we'll head on over to Dickey Stevens Park to see if the Travelers could take down the Hooks next in Fox 16 Sports.
Now, Fox 16 Sports with Ben Creighton.
It has been a big few months for former Hawk golfers. John Daly winning the Insperity Invitational. Stacey Lewis coming close to capturing the Northwest Arkansas Championship just last weekend. And now David Lingmerth, after getting out to a blazing start on Thursday and Friday, looked to capture the Quicken Loans National. It would be a tough task, though, as even after sitting atop the leaderboard coming into the final round, Lingmerth would have a tough 4th round. But let's start with something positive. On the number 8 par 4, Lingmerth with a beautiful approach shot from the fairway to set him up close to the pin. He would eventually birdie on that hole. Now on the par 5, number 10, the former Razorback in the thick stuff. Sitting at 6 under par, still the co-leader at that point, able to get his ball out of the rough and onto the fairway. Then on his very next shot, another beautiful swing to again get himself onto the green and even closer to the pin thanks to the backspin right here. He finished with a par on that hole. But Lingmerth would score several bogeys in his final round, which would really kick him out of that leader spot. Now on 11, he hooks it into the trees and into the rough. He would double bogey that par 4, and the lead would then just slip away. The former Razorback getting more and more frustrated, deservingly so, because now that allows those who were threatening his lead to take advantage. And here is your Quicken Loans National Champion. Instead of a former Razorback, Kyle Stanley wins the tournament in a playoff for his 2nd PGA Tour title. Lingmerth would finish in an 8-way tie for 5th, shooting a 4 under for the event, a 3 over par for the round. Astros pitcher Charlie Morton making his 3rd rehab start as Corpus Christi face off against the Travs top 2. Man, this ball just bolted out of the park in a hurry. Jack Mayfield blasts a solo home run into the street to give the Hooks an early 1-0 lead. And you know it was pretty humid at Dickey Stevens today. Got cool off the hot bat. An inning later, 2 runners on. Jason Martin chops one through the hole into right. Kyle Waldrop is going to fire it home, but the throw is not in time, and Corpus Christi goes up 2-0. I think, though, I was just bad luck, because after I had to leave, the Travs pulled off the comeback. They take down Corpus Christi 3-2 in 12 innings, thanks to a Chuck Taylor walk-off RBI single. And don't forget, it is, of course, Sunday, and we got an all-new Final Score with Wes Moore coming up in just a few minutes. We'll dive even more into Travs as Wes will chat with assistant GM Rusty Meeks as they break down the team's season as we are now underway with the second half. Plus, we'll have more of today's sports headlines, including former Razorback Dallas Keuchel talking about his upcoming return, Bijan Jackson, and a whole lot more. Again, that's coming up in just a few minutes right here on Fox 16. All right, stick around. We'll be right back.
And as we leave you tonight, here are the names and pictures of some of the victims injured in Saturday's mass shooting in Little Rock. Have a good night.